Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. OpenAI Agents SDK, Episode 13 of 18. How do you tell a function which user is currently chatting without accidentally teaching the LLM the user's private database ID? If you drop it in the system prompt, you are exposing internal data and wasting tokens. To pass secure local state to your tools, you use injecting local dependencies with RunContextWrapper. A common mistake when building agents is treating the language model as the middleman for everything. Developers often try to embed database connection strings, internal API keys, or private user identifiers right into the system instructions. They do this hoping the model will dutifully pass those sensitive credentials back into the tool calls as parameters. This is a significant security risk. It also consumes unnecessary context window tokens and increases the chance of the model hallucinating incorrect parameters. The correct approach is to bypass the language model entirely for your local execution state. The Run Context Wrapper provides a secure transport layer to inject dependencies straight into your tools and lifecycle hooks. The context attribute attached to this wrapper is purely local Python state. The model never sees it, never reads it, and never needs to reason about it. Consider a concrete scenario. An authenticated user is chatting with your customer support agent and asks to view their recent billing records. Your system needs to fetch these records, which means your billing tool requires the user's internal database ID to run the database queries safely. First, you define your local dependency in your application code. You might create a structured data class called userinfo that holds the internal user ID. Next, you write your tool function for fetching the billing history. In the signature of this tool function, you define a parameter specifically typed to accept the context object. The SDK understands this type hint and knows not to expose this parameter to the language model. Inside the function body, you access the context parameter, pull out your local user info dependency, and use that private user ID to securely query your backend. Here is the key insight. When you prepare to execute the agent run, you do not just pass the raw user message. You create an instance of the run context wrapper. You attach your populated user info data class directly to the wrapper, then you hand this wrapper into the execution runner. The logic flow handles the rest automatically. When the user asks for their billing history, the language model decides to trigger your billing tool. The model only provides the arguments it knows about from the public conversation, perhaps filtering by a specific month or an invoice number. It has absolutely no idea who the user is on your backend. Before the function actually runs, the SDK intercepts the call. It inspects the tool signature, notices the tool requires the local context, and automatically injects the state you attached to the run context wrapper. The tool executes using the secure user ID, retrieves the records, and returns the data to the model to formulate a response. This exact same dependency injection mechanism works for execution hooks, allowing you to pass active database connection pools or tracing IDs into your event logging seamlessly. By separating the external reasoning of the model from the internal execution of your code, your infrastructure remains secure and your prompts stay entirely focused on behavior. Keep your execution dependencies completely local and force your architecture to rely entirely on the secure state injected at runtime. Thanks for listening. Have a great day, everyone.